What up? What up? All right, so today we are going to talk about usefulness. It's just useful. Is the product or service or what you're creating, is it useful? And I think this is one of the most important things, because I mean you can go in. All right, I mean not go on a tangent. All right, so useful. Let's go kind of step by step and maybe you can see where I'm going with this. So first off, who? So who is it useful for? You're creating a product, you're creating a service. Who is this thing useful for? What is your target market? Okay, who are the people? Who's going to be helped by the thing that you are creating? So I want you to think about that. So jot that down. So who? Just keep that in mind. Next, solves a problem, relieves a pain. So really, what is your product? What's your service? What's it doing that's solving a problem, relieving any sort of pain? And you can throw probably. Let me go ahead and throw uh, giving some pleasure. But it solves a problem for them. It relieves a pain for them. It's giving them pleasure. But what is it about your thing, your creation, that's doing those things? Okay, and really think about that. Is your product working in the manner in which you think it's going to work, so that it solves a problem, relieves a pain, or gives them some sort of um, um, experience of pleasure? All right. Um, Next, is it practical? And when I say practical, I just want to make sure I don't mean like that it can't be complex, but I mean that it's just practical. Does that make sense? Like it's like yeah, like you have this thing, you have this issue, you have this pain, this problem, and what you're offering, your creation, what you're creating is a practical, yes, this would help, right? I think some of the best products ever created are things that are just practical. They're just, yes, you have this issue, right? Like you got clothes, they're dirty, washing machine, right? That's just, I know that sounds like weird and overly simplistic, but it's just like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's just like, you have these issues, or excuse me, you have dirty clothes, you create a washing machine. That's a simple solution. Like, no, the complexity of how the washing machine works might be difficult, but the idea is very simple, right? It's very practical. So I want you to, excuse me, I want you to think about that as you're developing your creation. Lastly was it says time frame of utility. So how long is it going to last, right? You might be able to create something useful, and that it can't be too useful if it's, well, not to say that that's the case all the time, but um, it might limit the usefulness, right? It might limit your creation being useful if the time frame of the utility of it is like quick. So like there are probably some things that hey, you can it's quick in terms of your use for it, and it does what it's supposed to do, and you wanted it to be quick, and it's quick, and it's effective, and it solves the problem completely. But I really want you to think about, does this solve maybe their issue completely, or is this some sort of temporary fix, right? So if it's like a temporary fix, just take that into consideration. Like if it's something that wears off, you can, let's say you are creating I don't know, a pill for something to alleviate a problem, and the pill, you take it, but it works 5 minutes, and then you got to take another pill, or you got to or you're going to have the same problem again. Although that may be useful, it might not be worth your time creating something like that. Maybe you want something a little bit more effective, that's a little bit more long term. So maybe you want to think about creating something that has a time frame that's, hey, once it's done, it's done. That thing solved the issue. So again, it's just something that you want to take into consideration when you're creating. Is this thing going to not only solve the issue, but solve the issue permanently, or solve the issue temporarily? So think about the time frame of your utility. Is what I'm trying to say. I think that's just very important about or when you're creating what you're creating. So those are 4 things. Just think about the who, the people, who is it going to impact. Think about the problem it's going to solve, the pleasure, the pain, all that. What's going to be the experience. Make sure it's practical. And then lastly, think about the time frame of its utility. So is it something that's going to be a quick fix? Is it something that's supposed to last long? Kind of think about all of those things. In terms of, I think all of this stuff helps you to determine how useful something is to you. So yeah, use this to determine the usefulness of your creation, and hopefully this helps you to kind of create. Just gives you some things to think about to create a better product, a better service, and be more helpful, to people with what you're doing. So anyway, with that, comment, share, do all that social media stuff that the social media gods love so much. Subscribe, and yeah, man, we'll see you on the next video. I'm excited. So hope that helps, and you take care. See you later.